I have a message from the people for you. And I'm going to make this claim right now. I promise you, this is going to be one of the most powerful, inspiring videos you see today because it comes from our fellow countrymen who want to send a very important message to President Trump about what's happened in this amazing zero casualty, zero lost equipment, zero lost any American soldiers capture of one of the worst tyrant, terrorist, narco, criminal, fake, unelected despots, Nicolas Maduro. While the Democrats, if it's not Palestinians one week, if it's not Mexicans another week, if it's not Ukrainian flags, they're waving in our hallowed halls in the chambers of Congress. Now they're complaining about a dictator. Chrissy Murphy goes on CNN and gets called out for his blatant hypocrisy, as well as Chuck the Buck Schumer, where they made fun of Trump 4 or 5 years ago about his Venezuelan plan and how he needs to go after Maduro. Maduro needs to be overthrown. He needs to be taken out. Now they're changing their tune because they're so consumed with hatred of President Trump, hatred of who he represents, us, the people who voted for him, and hatred of America, quite frankly. And so I want to play 2 very special videos from the people, from actual Americans who have felt the unequivocal, irreparable harm of the toxic chemicals that this tyrant Maduro was shipping across our borders on the daily when we had the worst regime of all time, vegetable in chief Biden and useless DEI hire Kamala.
My name is Jennifer Boss, and this is my daughter Megan that we lost earlier this year to fentanyl poisoning.
President Trump, we are so thankful for all that you're doing to secure our border.
Thank you, President Trump, for arresting Maduro.
Thank you, Mr. President, for everything that you're doing in the fight against fentanyl, being a father who's lost a daughter to fentanyl.
As a mom who lost her 15-year-old son to fentanyl poisoning, this means more than I can put into words.
Retired Army, 20 years. But I have to tell you today, I'm very proud of President Trump. I lost a son a year and a half ago to these drugs that these thugs have been exporting to our country for years.
I just wanted to say thank you, President Trump, and your decisive actions.
President Trump has taken the right action in going after an individual that has no care for human life and absolutely a hatred towards America.
The decisive action you took against Maduro and his regime is more of the same of the war on drugs that killed our children, and I can't thank you enough for putting might where your mouth is.
I applaud President Trump in his endeavors to end this war on drugs.
Any other cartels, any other countries that see the United States as fertile land where they can actually drop their illicit drugs, their poison, and make money will think twice now.
So here's my message to Donald Trump that will never get to him, and I wish it would, because I would love for him to hear this. My younger brother died of accidental fentanyl overdose, and being a 21-year-old boy, nervous about traffic court, his friend told him, hey, I got this Percocet, just take this, it'll help you calm down, no big deal. And then he died in the car with my parents. It's been devastating to our family. And this was when Biden was in office. And I felt so much anger and just the feelings I just can't even bring to light. And I will never forget the face that Joe Biden made, that big, goofy smile that evil man made when the drug crisis was brought up to him, and he laughed. He laughed at me, he laughed at my family, he laughed at everybody who's lost someone to this terrible drug and this terrible war against America. Thank you. That's all I got to say. Thank you. Maduro deserves, and all these drug traffickers, all the boats, everything, these people deserve the worst. They're responsible for the deaths of millions, and they don't care. And they never will care. They're never going to. But I will say thank you. Thank you for caring. And thank you for following through on your word, which is why I voted. Because I saw in your first term, I saw it there, and I voted for you there. Like, I'm a third Trumper, you know. I knew that you would fulfill your word and hold these people accountable for the deaths and the blood that's on their hands, including my younger brother.
God bless you, Jeffrey. It is my honor to share your story. And may God bless and keep always your little brother. I'm so sorry. That's all I can say. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Help us, everybody watching this right now. Help us get this message to President Trump. Tap the thumbs up. Share this with everybody. I mean, everybody. Text messaging, share it to your brother, your sister, your grandmother, your boyfriend's sisters, dog sitters, niece, whatever. Share it everywhere. Let's help Jeffrey reach President Trump. I got one more video to share with you, which to me is just, it's very powerful. It's Stephen Miller getting into a fiery exchange when he was cut off by Fake Tapper. And this is demonstrative on two levels. It's indicative of how we have enemies abroad and we have enemies within, and maybe none too bigger than the enemy of the woke media, the corporate press, the mainstream media. We saw Margaret Brennan go after Marco Rubio this weekend, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, as if he'd committed the crime of the century by capturing Meduro, when the Democrats themselves called and even gave a $25 million reward. Biden offered a $25 million reward for the capture of Meduro, who is literally the epitome, the quintessence of what a dictator is. You have the media, which is an enemy within, and then you have Stephen Miller calling it out as only Stephen Miller can. Watch this.
Over the future of Greenland.
One last question, Stephen.
Doesn't make any sense.
One last question. The president was very quick to say that the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, opposition leader Machado in Venezuela, doesn't have the support in Venezuela to become the next president or the interim leader. And I wonder where he got that from, given that her cutout, Gonzalez, won the election last year 2 years ago, overwhelmingly, 70% of the vote or something like that. Why does the president think that Machado should not be the next leader? Why does he think she's weak?
First of all Venezuela experts agree. All Venezuela experts agree that it would be absurd and preposterous for us to suddenly fly her into the country and to put her in charge. And the military would follow her, and the security forces would follow her. This is not a serious. It's not even a serious question.
So should there be an election?
Let me, if you give me the floor for 30 seconds, let me tell you what we are doing here, Jake. The United States, this is sort of foundational. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do?
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even
and
know,
engaging these
honestly,
mass
what you're talking
reparations
about right
schemes.
now.
What I'm talking about, Jake, is the idea, and by the way, you do. I know you love doing that smarmy thing, Jake, and I was hoping to be better than that this time.
I asked you about if there should be an election.
Exactly.
I asked you if there would be an election in Venezuela. That's what I asked. I said, why was the president so quick to dismiss Machado? You answered that question. And then I said,
the objective, Jake, is security and stability for the people of Venezuela. With our help and leadership, that country will become more prosperous than it has ever been in its whole history. Venezuelans
but the
will
woman
be richer
running Venezuela
and
right
safer
now is
and
part
more
of the
secure
Maduro
and
regime.
better off. Well, there will be conversations, Jake, about all of these guideposts along the way. The reason why I was giving you that speech, which I know you didn't want to hear, is because you're approaching this from the wrong frame. This neoliberal frame that the United States' job is to go around the world and demanding immediate elections be held everywhere, immediately, all the time, right away. To create these vacuums.
That's not what I think, but you invaded the country. We went into the country and we seized the leader of Venezuela.
Damn straight we did.
And I'm saying,
we're not going to let.
So is the U.S. going to have new elections?
Jake, is that we're not going to let Tin Pot communist dictators send rapists into our country, send drugs into our country, send weapons into our country.
Okay.
And we're not going to let a country fall into the hands of our adversaries. The future of Venezuela, working with America, is going to be so bright and so incredible and so positive, and we'll have a conversation about everything that you raised. But the priority right now, as the president has been made clear, is a judicious, thoughtful, careful transition process to secure a great future for Venezuela and to secure a great future for America.
All right.
And let's just take a moment and just acknowledge, Jake, that what we've witnessed under President Trump's leadership this last week is one of the greatest foreign policy and military victories this country has ever had.
Nope, they'll never acknowledge that. God, I love Stephen Miller. If you love Stephen Miller, give me a huge yeah in the comments down below. This man might just love the country more than me. No, I doubt that. Nobody loves the country more than me. Maybe President Trump. That's about it. Quite frankly, I think I do, Professor Nez. You're a great guy, right? You're a good patriot. We like you a lot. Me and Melania, we like you a lot. However, I think I love the country a lot more because I risked my life. You're right, Mr. President. I love you. If this was Obama, if this was Biden, or if this was some other Democrat, ridiculous Newsom, Kamala, whatever, you would see wall-to-wall coverage of emblematic American pride, of how amazing they would be cheering this Democrat. Let's just say Kamala won. God, thank God she did it. They would be cheering her on, promoting her, having a complete, it would be we would never hear the end of it. There would be, the national anthem would be played in every woke media. They would be going and propping her up and saying, this deserves Mount Rushmore. I guarantee it. It is just so tragic and sad that one of the biggest enemies, one of the biggest adversaries we have is our own media infrastructure, which is supposed to serve the public's best interest, but doesn't. Thank God for X. Thank God for you guys watching this. Nick Shirley, everything he exposed. And now California is hot right now on the next, kind of basically next rung here of fraud exposure. And I am here for all of it. And I thank you. And I'm so glad you are too. Please tap that thumbs up if you love America. I can't wait to hear your comments on everything that we shared today. Please make sure that you share this out and let me know down below. By the way, Stephen Miller, the White House, all the staff, even these CNN mongrels and woke media, they all watch this show. Let them know how you think. Let them know what you feel about them. They will see your comment. You have a chance to make common sense go viral. Our mission here on the Nez Nation channel. So let your voice be heard. Tap the thumbs up. Share this out with everybody. And don't forget, we just posted this today. Go watch this next, or you can watch this video down here. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It doesn't cost you a thing. Turn on the bell notification and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.